A ruler is responsible for the lives of many others. Is it difficult for someone like that to find happiness like everyone else? C'est magnifique!
Rejoice, because Jiggle physics is still alive and well in Japan, and it's making some fans of Persona 3 Reloaded extremely excited and the other side extremely upset. And of course, the extremely upset side is coming from X and Twitter, where many fans are complaining about the fact that they have this physics still in the game, especially after the modern progressive updates in multiple games that have come out for the past few years. Alan Wake 2, Capcom Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat specifically have taken drastic measures to tamp down on a lot of the elements that feminize and focus on feminine features of those games. And I think this is something that has caught social media in an uproar, where people are complaining about this slight jiggle that still remains, and it seems like Japan is not backing down, which is something that's good for a lot of the gamers that like these cultural games to remain true to their source and to the people that are developing them, that are not bending over to serve Western audiences or Western corporate interests. And I think that's why people are rejoicing that these physics are still there. It's not mainly focused on the attractive aspects of the quality of these physics or anything like that. I think there's people just like that, oh, this is a cultural tradition that we've seen in a lot of Japanese games, and they're not changing it because some other culture outside of their society is forcing them or demanding they change what they enjoy creating or what they add into their games. And when it comes to that position, I have to agree, okay, this is something they put into the games. It's not overly harmful. It's not harmful in any way, and I think that's fine. But that is not the case for the people on Twitter and X. They're complaining furiously about this addition of this physics. They hate that this is included, specifically with this character, because of course any character that is a dominating female focused character is associated with the LGBT community when it comes to X and Twitter, and they say she's an icon, so you can't make her in any way attractive to the male gaze, because that is pulling away from their headcanon of her being the leader of some part of their community. And I think we see this a lot with these animation characters, where a lot of fans create a headcanon about these characters and put them in a place where they don't want them altered or touched in such a way. And I think it's fine for fans to do that, but I think it's not fine when they become more hostile and want to threaten the developers for keeping true to what they developed. And I think this is the case with this character. She's obviously made to be an attractive character that is appealing maybe to some other characters within the game world, and I think this is what they meant in its design, at least for the most part. I played most of the Persona games, Persona 2, 3, and 4. I loved the entire story and just going through the daily lives and getting lost in these dream worlds and the attacking and fighting elements. I think that's the main thing that kind of garners the attention for this game, where you have this everyday life type of story, and then you have this RPG role-playing game type of Final Fantasy type of story in the dream world, where you get lost in the story, where you're conquering castles and making out in puzzle rooms. I think that is the main thing people love about it, and I think that's the main thing people should be focused on. I think these elements about whatever jiggle that are included is fine. That's the developers, that's a cultural difference. I think we need to respect cultural difference, and you would assume this is the case with people that are extremely liberal and progressive, but that is not the case. If your thoughts or opinions are different from them, then they must be destroyed and erased from the record book. And I think that is the situation here with the jiggle physics, where they want to erase it because it goes against their own morals, even though they carry some hypocrisy about their position as well. Let's go to the article and see what the fans are saying online about their anger, and I'll go into a little bit about their hypocrisy of the situation. Let's read what the fans have to say about this slight change or this maintaining of their cultural values in this game. Of course, cultural values is now just boobs jiggling, but that's what it's come down to, it seems, just in the cultural war internationally. People are fighting over if a boob can jiggle or not, and that is the case here. Persona 3 Reload jiggle physics stirs outrage on social media. Of course, that is the people that are very mad at this appearance here. New footage for the upcoming Persona 3 that upset a certain sect of Twitter users due to there being breast physics for main characters Mitsuruwa Kyrjo A new trailer was released for the redheaded beauty, and we get to see some of that trailer right there. And we have the responses online where people are posting memes going, "You all ruined everything," of course, taking her out of that, I guess, headcanon of a LGBTQ representative character, I'm thinking. And I wanted to know why. Just leave the queen alone and let her have her badass pose without freak comments. She's for the women anyway, and there's that claim. And I think this is something that happens to most fan bases when it comes to animation and cartoons. People just have these weird stories that are built up in their mind. But if I ask for Akiko butt physics, suddenly it's a problem. That is interesting. I don't know if it's part of their cultural values, but make your own game, put some butt physics, and no one can really say anything. We've never beaten the allegations. I guess someone like the people focusing on the physical bodies of these female characters. Atlas, when they see a teenager, there you go, kind of accusing them of obscure and strange interests that may go against, I guess, the laws in your country. I feel bad for Mitsuru Kurjo as a human being every time I see something about her on Twitter. Okay, I guess he's talking about themselves as a human being, so they're hurt. And of course, we see the flags, the multi-gender flags posted up, and I think that's my assumption of that. I don't know anything about the community, but whenever I hear someone hate that a female is attributed feminine characteristics, I think, okay, this is a headcanon, or is a fan base that's focused on this character, even though they're not LGBTQ. They made it in their mind that they're LGBTQ, and now that story in their mind is being broken. And that, I think that's where you get that rage for this. And I think it develops usually when these cultural clashes happen, like between Japan and Western civilization. And we see this clash right here. I feel like we shouldn't give underage characters boobs or butt physics, even if it's more realistic. Okay, it's not a terrible assumption, but this is a different culture that have different laws and standards. Persona fans are never beating. I have never seen or felt a touch a woman in real life allegations. Yeah, I think those are the allegations, and it may be true for some people. I think that is the case, so it's not an incorrect supposition right there. And I think this gets down to what I think is just the contradiction here, where people are angry at this female boob physics when you can go into the many different male characters that are shirtless, wearing short shorts, their butt is almost halfway out. We see this with a lot of characters that are being presented in like League of Legends and Overwatch, and you have these same people putting out their overzealous attraction to these animations and particular CGI characters or computer generated characters. And you see this here with this clip where someone's just saying, "I want to touch their abs," and you have more clips where people are just saying, "Oh, I just love this character. They're just so beautiful. I want to go to bed with them." And you have that overzealous response where people are overly excited about these characters, and you see there in their conversation where they're saying, "We're not aggressively attracted to these people. We're not idolizing them. We're not worshiping them like the men. This is different." You see this in the comments where they're going, literally, "It's just a mod. It's nothing. It's just his butt is out. It's just his abs are out. It means nothing." And these comments go on and on about people trying to get out of their situation and say, "Oh, this is nothing. Oh, I got a mod where these guys are shirtless. It's just nothing." This is different from female and male dynamics. And I think, no, this is pretty close to what we see with a lot of the female characters in Japanese games. But that hypocrisy lives on strongly in these games. And I think we see it happen too often where they go on with this hypocrisy. They ignore the similarities in the male characters where they are seen through a female gaze, and there's no problem with that. So there should be no problem with seeing the female through the male gaze. And I think that hypocrisy needs to be neutralized and come to terms with on the side that hates these jiggle physics. But those are just my thoughts. Tell me what you think. Are you against the boob physics or are you for it? Me, I'm neutral. If it's part of your culture, it's fine. If you don't have it in the game, I'm fine either way. But just don't be mad and just let people make the games the way they want to make them. And that's just my focus. Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.